So 561 Music now has a hotline. You can call us anytime at 561-203-9122 and ask us any questions you like. Some humorous ones or something about the guests we've had on the show, or questions about gear, or questions about the festival, or anything you like. It's, of course, 561-203-9122. We would love to hear from you. We did a pretty fun little message, so you get to hear that too. Even if you just call up to listen to me and Hector trying to do a good phone message, that's a good enough reason. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you, so please get in touch. Hi guys, I know everyone says this on every YouTube channel, but please, could you like and subscribe to 561 Music Podcast? It's a local music podcast, and all we're trying to do is help local musicians get some exposure. So if you could like it, subscribe it, and also hit the notifications button on the episode, we would really, really appreciate it. And if you're feeling generous, you could subscribe to the Spotify as well. Thank you.
Take it by the scene, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
Oh, are we rolling?
Yeah.
And I'm Hector.
How's it going, dude?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. You got a budding career as a comedian then.
Not really. But okay. That's why I do the podcast instead. I gotta get the jokes in here, man.
Absolutely. So, what we've been doing, we played the Kilted Mermaid.
We did play the Kilted Mermaid Friday.
Yeah, and that was cool. That's always cool.
It's always fun there. I don't think I've ever played there and not had fun. So it's a cool place. It's a cool place, man.
Totally. And then it was the Square Grouper in the day with me and James, which I have literally zero memories of for some weird reason. It must have been because it was hot.
No, it was probably because it was hot. But you guys came to Patty Mac's that night and told me it was like super packed and crazy and fun. So
cool. Okay.
So you had a good time.
Okay,
you don't remember, but you had a good time. I promise you.
Excellent.
And Patty Mac's was fun.
Yeah.
There was a good crowd at Patty Mac's on Saturday. It was a really good crowd. They stayed late and everything.
Yeah. No, it was great. And then I did a solo gig at Guanabanas, and I've managed to get a few more from the rest of the year. So if you came to my solo gig on Sunday and you liked it, I'll be back. Yeah. I'm going to do a bunch of those, and I'm getting better with my looper. I've been working hard at that.
And then I played last night at Double Roads with
that you did,
Euphoria, my other band, with Justin in the control room there.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've been putting on with Sally, and
yeah. Let's talk about that for like really quick second too, because I want to push that. I mean, there was a crowd there last night, but we could use more people coming out to those events. The whole point of that event, it's the third and fourth Tuesdays, unless there's a fifth Tuesday, in which case it's
the second and fourth.
Second and fourth, unless there's a fifth Tuesdays, and then it's the second, fourth, and fifth. But typically second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at Double Roads in Jupiter. All original band lineups. We were doing 2 bands. We're trying to do 3 bands now.
Yeah.
Try to be consistent with that. Sometimes it's themed, like a reggae night or a female artist night, that type of thing.
Hawaiian luau. No, we've never done one of those.
There's never one of those, but we should do it.
Yeah.
Other times it's just a good mix of bands. Like last night, we had Dominic Delaney who played a solo set. Then Dominic came back and played a full band set.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And then Euphoria played after that, and then The Shake played after that. So it was fun, man. It was really fun last night.
It sounds it, man. By the time I got out of here, I was like heading that way, and I was like, shall I do it? But I would have only seen the last 20 minutes of The Shake. So
that's the big thing. There's plenty of cover bands, and we're one of them, and stuff. And so there's plenty of cover bands on the weekends. Come out to Double Roads on Tuesday nights and help support the local original music scene. So
yeah, exactly. We Killbillies did it actually.
Yeah, we did it. We did it the first one actually.
Yeah,
with Copper Tones.
Yeah.
So, but it's all original music, so it's fun. It's fun, and you get to discover something cool and something new and something you haven't heard before.
Absolutely, that, and also it's a Double Roads, and Double Roads has a great sound system. It's a good place.
An amazing sound system and an awesome stage.
Yeah, they're really not messing around. The sound guys are really good. I mean, the whole thing is really professionally run. So if you're going to see people playing their own songs anywhere, Double Roads is a good place to do it.
It is a good place, yeah. So
yeah, excellent. All right then. So, anything else we got to talk about?
No, I think that's good. Let's get right to it, man.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. We have At The Starlight with us today.
Okay, cool. So we got who have we got here? We got Jeremy over there on the end. How's it going, Jeremy?
Hey there, good. How are you doing?
And I'm good, thank you. And we got Dari and Annabelle.
That's right.
Wicked. Okay, so
Pass the test.
exactly. So, how long have you guys been a band?
We have been together for over a year, maybe longer, 2 years.
I would say so, yeah.
Something like 2 years. Current lineup is mature in that, about 3 months, right?
Yeah, because
Gino
you
joined-
started with us around February.
Yeah, it was like January, February, and then Gino was like,
Gino's our bass player who couldn't be here today.
Is it?
Oh,
Is it?
gotcha.
There's 4 of you total, or
yeah.
At the moment, there's 4 of us.
Okay.
How did you guys meet?
So Dari and I met on Twitter, and we just became friends. We didn't know I didn't know where she lived, and just by talking, we discovered that we actually lived in the same state.
Oh, that's nice.
State of Florida, and we're like, oh, okay, we're both from Florida, cool. And then moving further, we discovered we lived in the same county. We both live in Broward, nice. And then she mentioned a store that I know that is around my house, and I'm like, wait a minute, do you live like right where I live? And we ended up, yeah,
We live
10
3
minutes,
miles away from each other.
3 miles away.
Oh, my
Yeah, that's
word.
hilarious.
Right. So, and then we discovered that we both enjoy music and enjoy playing, and we just started having fun. Really, it wasn't about anything serious at the moment. It was more
So
about
you and Dari are like the original members.
Right.
we were the OGs. Yes, we are the
Okay,
OGs.
cool. How long have you two been playing together? About the same time, just over a year.
Yeah, but, probably about 2 years, I would say.
Right.
We met in 2021.
Because we used to just play covers and then just play around on YouTube, nothing serious until things really took a turn for
Okay,
us.
cool. And what would you say prompted the turn?
Perseverance,
Oh, there you go. I love that word.
consistency.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
really what it was. We didn't want to stop. Like once you find something you really like, really enjoy, you just keep at it, and things just started happening. I don't even know how, really. Do you?
I think one day after looking at all of our videos on YouTube, whatever, we were like, oh, you know what? I think we have something that could potentially be special. I think
Yeah.
we can create. If we can create this music, maybe we can also write songs, and that's how the whole process started.
Oh, great.
So you were creating just music, no lyrics, just music originally.
were
creating
doing covers.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
We were
yeah.
just doing covers.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any cover gigs?
No, because it was during the pandemic.
Right.
So
yeah.
everybody
yeah.
was
Gotcha.
stuck at home. So we did a lot of in-home YouTube videos kind of deals.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
we
gotcha.
didn't get to play out at back when we were doing covers.
Yeah.
And then the original music started flowing. She's the queen of melodies. She can just come up with a
Stop
melody.
it.
She just can't. It's kind of like this. Like, I sometimes don't even believe it. Like she'll come up with a melody and she'll tell me let's put lyrics. We put the lyrics together, and then we start working on the lyrics. And all of a sudden she's like, wait, boom, 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 and she gives me another melody. I'm like, okay, but we're in the middle of this one, so we're gonna have to hold on to that one for later. Or sometimes we just start working on that one and completely forget the one not completely, but leave the other one for later. So she's just really good at putting together melodies, right? So
Oh, fantastic. Well, I tell you what, I'm tempted to agree because I've heard your music. I've been listening to it all day, in preparation for this, and it is beautiful. And yeah, the melodies are fantastic, and it does have this kind of haunting kind of. I know that when you describe yourselves, when you send a thing talking about the band, that there's this kind of magnetism about the sound, and I would agree with that. There is some kind of haunting magnetism about your sound, and that's partially just, I think, personally from listening to it, partially because it's very. It has this pace to it that's quite unusual. It's slow and thoughtful sounding, and it kind of draws you into the sound world where everyone else is kind of banging away and kind of like making sure things hurry along. I feel like your music, it gives itself space, and it's great. I really, really enjoy the music.
Thank you.
Everything's
Thank
like
you.
purposeful in there, and it's
Yeah.
just like you said, it has space. It's not
Yeah.
packed in and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I find, when I write music is that I struggle with that. I don't write like that at all. It's not my writing
Yeah.
style. And so to hear to hear someone else doing it and doing it well. You know, the green-eyed monster comes out a little bit. I love it. I love the music. Sounds cool. So, how long have you guys all been playing music? How did you get into music? Why don't we go one at a time here? Annabelle, how did you find yourself getting into playing music?
Well, for me, it's been. My dad plays the accordion. My dad
cool.
was always trying to teach all three of us. I have two siblings. He was always trying to sit us and get us to play. Unfortunately, when I was little, I was very interested in playing. And I say unfortunately because I don't mean playing the keyboard. I mean playing with my toys. So I wasn't really practicing, and eventually he gave up. But I was always interested. I just didn't have the discipline to, I guess
Sure.
I was too young.
Right.
And then when I got older, that fire was still in me. And so I started making friends just so that they could teach me how to play the piano. Like I literally have, I can name at least 3 people that I befriended so that they could teach me what they know.
That's
and I
cool.
would go to see them and they would, just teach me, and I would just soak it all in. And then eventually I started taking lessons when I got a job.
Yeah.
I started taking lessons at the New York Academy with Mike, and I was there for a few years.
Yeah.
Until then I lost my job, and then I had to stop. And then I just kept playing here and there because I already had like the basics, and just keep learning. And then for a while that happened, and then I stopped, and then I met Dari, and it all started back up again, and hopefully it won't stop this time.
Oh, that's
Nice.
fantastic. It's funny you should say that about like meeting people, getting to know people with this kind of ulterior motive that that they play music. But when you were saying that, I was thinking back to, because some of the friendships I've made over the years, and I definitely have a few of those. Where I just wanted what they had. But Dari, how did you find yourself playing music?
For me, it started back in high school.
Right.
I took a guitar class, which, by the way, I was horrendous. I failed guitar class, for the record. Because the teacher wanted me to read music, and they wanted me to follow this little book, and that's just not me. I play from here.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but I did learn a couple of chords, and that was the beginning of it. Also in high school, I took chorus, musical theater. So you would say that high school was my catalyst, the whole thing that pushed me. After that, I was in a few local bands in Miami.
What kind of bands?
It was like indie rock,
Yeah.
but when you're young and you think you're a punk rock, and you're
Sure. I still think I'm a punk rock.
you are, but I wasn't. After that, I took like a 10-year break,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until I met her again that, like, you know what? What are you doing? Let's go.
Oh, that's cool. So this friendship really is what it was a new start for both of you guys.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. All right then. So Jeremy, how did you find yourself playing songs?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because the start of my musicianship is kind of similar to Annabelle's, where it was a parent who kind of was trying to push me into music. In this case, it was my mom, and she's played piano for decades and decades.
Right.
And when I was maybe like 6 or 7, she was like, "Hey, I want to start teaching you piano," and I didn't want to start learning piano from her.
Yeah.
But a couple years after we'd started, and there'd been some like kind of starts and stops. I had a classmate, and again, this is still like elementary school age, maybe like 9 or 10 at this point. I had a classmate who wanted to put together sort of like lip syncing of a Beatles song. He roped me into doing it, and we were all kind of going to act like one of the Beatles, and I chose Ringo for no particular reason other than the name. But I started like really listening to the drums, and the more I listened to the drums, the more I wanted to be playing the drums. So I realized like, hey, this is something I really want to pursue. So I went back to my parents with it and was like, hey, I really want to play the drums. And they said, okay, well, they were savvy, and they said, we'll make you a deal. If you keep playing piano, once like school band starts in a couple years, if you are still wanting to play the drums, then we'll let you do it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that way, they didn't make any sort of commitment to like the expense of drums and like the horrible noise that you get in the house, right? And they figured, okay, he's like 8 or 9 or whatever. He's got the attention span of a fly. He's gonna forget all about
grow right
this.
out
But
of it.
no. Unfortunately for them, couple years later, I was still interested, and they, to their credit, they absolutely went through on their end of the deal and were very supportive.
Oh, nice. Well, I feel like starting on the piano isn't a bad thing anyway. I mean, at least you get that structure, you know. There's a lot of musical understanding that really is gained so much quicker on the piano than anything else.
Absolutely, and it's kind of funny because then like through my school age years, you know, I was playing outside of school, but I was also doing like the school band thing. And as a percussionist, having that piano experience was immensely helpful because I was, you know, pretty decent at all the keyboard percussion instruments, right? Like marimba, xylophone, vibraphone, all those things. You know, since I already knew, you know, layout of keys, I knew how to read music, you know, could pick up music theory okay, like all those other things came to me, you know, relatively easily because of that background experience. So,
did you keep doing piano like during that time and everything, or you pretty much switched to drums and that was it?
Through high school, I kept up with piano.
Okay.
Once I was out of the house, I was less inclined to stick with it. But I will say I still enjoy like the keyboard percussion stuff. So, you know, I went a significant amount of time without getting to play just because, you know, those instruments are expensive. I didn't have, you know, the means to buy something that I could have around to practice on.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate. I was able to pick one up a couple years ago. And so I've been sort of working the rust off and getting back into that.
Nice.
So we haven't found a way yet to work that into our music with At The Starlight, but at some point that might happen.
We will.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you got one, you may as well. Yeah, it'd be great.
Right.
So At The Starlight, who came up with the name?
We did. It was the band. It was kind of funny. One night we decided we had another name, but nobody liked it.
It sounded like a circus act. Come on.
I love that name. I love that name. She's still okay. Fine. It sounded
What
like
is it? What was it?
It was Magic Avenue.
Yeah.
Magic Avenue. I like At The Starlight more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Maybe it's because I came up with Magic Avenue. So
I don't dislike Magic Avenue. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to start a band called Magic Avenue.
I just think it gives the wrong idea of who we are.
Right.
It sounds like a child, like a children, like I don't know.
Well, it was. I came up with it because we actually liked playing a game called Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, cool.
And so because we both liked it so much, and it kind of brought us together, that's why I came up with, okay, well, I'll put Magic somewhere in there, so
there
Magic Avenue. But yes, okay, I understand. So we actually, one night we decided, okay, we're gonna find another name. So everybody went into their corners and just brainstormed and wrote a list of names.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And then we just started discarding them, voting. We spent quite a
while.
Yeah, a long time doing that.
Yeah. No, At The Starlight's really pretty. And I think partially because it doesn't, you don't 100% know what it means. It's like the meaning is a little ambiguous, you know?
Exactly.
And I think that's
and it
why
doesn't
I like
pigeonhole you to any specific anything, really.
Right.
You can do whatever you want with it. You know?
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty too. It's very evocative, but you're not sure what it's evoking. It's a good name.
When we find out, we'll let you know.
That's cool. How do you guys write songs? Do you do it all together, or is one person more involved than another?
So usually it's Dari and I. Like I said, Dari comes up with the melodies, and then we'll put the lyrics together, and then we'll present it, and these guys just transform it.
Right.
Yeah.
We also have Ryan, another one of the band members, who also writes songs, and he just brings them in. And again, with the band, the rest of us just add to that, and we're very open. And that's really nice about At The Starlight is that everybody's really open to other people and what they bring. It's not like, well, I want my song to be this way. We're very open to discussion, very open to suggestion, very open to feedback. We're always praising each other, which is great. I love all the praise that goes on between us. It's not like, oh my gosh, you messed that up real big time. No, it's not like that. We're very
I say supportive and understanding.
Definitely.
Yeah. And sometimes we might have an idea that sounds doable, it sounds decent, but these guys catch it in their hands and they just transform it, and it's like,
so cool.
I'm not even mad. Thank you.
Then you see your baby that you wrote on the couch, and you're like, what? That was the song I wrote on a couch? That's amazing.
I have a kind of a funny, good example of how it's important to sort of let these things let these things go creatively and just kind of let things become part of the creative process. And I'm half saying it just so that Hector isn't angry with me for what I did to his song.
Yeah, that was going to say.
So the example is Hector played me 2 chord ideas over the weekend, and I was trying to turn them into a Killbillies song or something that we could play, that Killbillies could play. And the thing about our band is there's certain things that work, certain things that don't work because we have defeat drums and stuff. And so we could theoretically play anything, but certain things work better than other things. Anyway, so I just started kind of getting it into kind of a Killbillies mode, and the more I did it, the faster it got, the faster it got. Then I started adding some other chords, and I started adding some other chords, and at this point it's nothing like it was at the beginning. So we're going to see. I'm going to play him after this. He's going to let me know what he thinks.
I'm going to let him know what he thinks.
Wish me luck on that one. No, but we're pretty chill with it. And I guess the reason I brought it up is because we've done that before where Hector's had an idea, and we've turned it into something. And he's very sort of free and easy with his ideas. Be like, just be like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? As a starting point, really.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I know not my place, but I know my limitations. Mm-hmm. So I know that I'm not this prolific songwriter that's going to sit down and write some big opus or whatever. But I have ideas.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, if I can bring those ideas to Ben or to the band, and Ben can take that, even if it ends up not being anything like my song, but that idea got his wheels turning. And he's like, I like that, but what about this? But what about this? But what about this? Suddenly we're like, completely on the opposite end of the spectrum. But it's a good song now, and whatever. Then it did its job.
Yeah,
it did its job.
Totally. And what I would say about that is that really just keeping it in the front of our minds that we're doing it, means we'll end up at the end of it. So it's like just all good ideas are good. All ideas are good ideas, and the more that we're talking about it, the quicker stuff will happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I totally get why. I love the fact that you're into it and giving me ideas and that we're working hard toward it. It just means it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise you start forgetting.
Keeps the ball rolling.
Exactly. So that's cool. You sound like you have a very healthy, creative situation going on.
Yeah, I feel like a phrase that's always stuck in my mind is feedback is a gift. And I feel like that really encapsulates sort of like the spirit of how we interact and how we exchange those ideas.
Yeah, that's great. In the sense that you don't have to... Right. Feedback is a gift. Really don't take it personally.
Right.
The fact that someone cares enough to tell you how they feel about it
is
I'm
a blessing
in
this
itself.
up to you. You can accept it. If it's not right for you, that's okay.
Yeah.
That we're all mature enough to not take it personal and just make the song better. We're not doing this for us individually, but for the song itself.
Yeah.
That's all that matters at the end.
It's also about, it's not what you say, but how you say it.
Sure,
So as long as you say it nicely, and these guys are always like, I've never felt, I feel terrible that I can't do this or can't do that. On the opposite, they're very supportive and they give me the feedback, and I just get better. I think you level up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. I have noticed, because I've been writing more songs lately than I have done in a long time, just with different things, helping people on different projects and stuff like that. There's been a lot of songs flying around, and the more of them you write, the quicker you identify a blind alley, because you're like, oh, I've done that a million times, never used it. You know what I mean? For this reason and that reason. I don't know. I feel like the more songs it's like you get better at writing songs by writing a lot of songs.
Yes.
Sure.
Definitely.
That's like pretty much you have to exercise that muscle. Pretty much the only way.
Yeah, like the first batch of songs we wrote, because we kind of write them in batches just so that we can send them out.
Yeah.
I think we used maybe 3 songs out of that batch.
Right. And they were slower songs.
They were a little slower. Now the next batch, we have 5 in the works.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, I can agree with that. You get better, and because you learn from your mistakes. You learn, and
you learn what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah, and you get feedback because it's a gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, where are you guys?
You say that like you've had to really what's the word? Like you've had to tell yourself that a few times. Feedback is a gift.
It's giving me a present.
I have to laugh though, because coming from you'll relate to this. Coming from a Cuban background, at gift giving times and throughout the year, in my family it was always like you got the gift, you accepted it graciously, whether you liked it or not, with a smile and thank you so much, and you made an effort to use it in front of that person or something so that they thought you liked it or whatever, and that's just the way it was. My wife is Irish American, and she, in her family, the way it was is like you got a gift, and there's a receipt in with the gift. So that if you don't like it, you can return it, right? And the first Christmas that I spent with her family, and I got a gift, and I opened it up, and it was this really ugly sweater that her sister had given me. And I opened it up, and I was like, oh, it's nice. And she's like, oh, the receipt's in the box if you don't like it. And I was like, what?
Is that a thing?
How could you say that?
My mum and dad don't, but my family doesn't do that, but Christie's does. Yeah.
So is feedback a gift you have to accept, or does it come with a receipt?
That's a good question. I mean, I think the receipt is there, but you have to accept it in good faith and try it out.
Yeah,
and it's okay to discard it.
But it's okay to return it.
Exactly. So maybe a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I'm just curious.
That's really funny.
I just want to know.
That's great. So do you practice individually? Like, are you sitting at home practicing your drums these days? Would you say, Jeremy?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
And do your neighbors like that, or?
Fortunately, I've got a pretty decent space, so hopefully they're not too bothered. But yeah, I mean, I think practice is the only way to make sure that you're improving individually. And also, I think it's really important just kind of thinking about like the work ethic of the group. If you all come into a rehearsal and you're not prepared, then the rehearsal is just going to be all about stuff that you could have done on your own, right? Rehearsal time is just so valuable, and you don't want to be spending it. Relearning a fundamental thing about your instrument, right?
Yeah.
So if you can have that rehearsal time to just work together and hash out things that require that in-person communication or that require the chemistry that you have of everybody together, that's great. You can't do that with your individual practice, but your individual practice, you can have everything prepared and ready so that when you come into rehearsal, you're not thinking about the structure of the sound. You're not thinking about how to play your instrument. You're thinking about how do we make all these parts fit together in the best way possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And rehearsal, I'm realizing as I get older, rehearsal time gets more and more valuable.
Absolutely.
It's so difficult to make that happen, And when you do make it happen, it's like, you got to use it well. Absolutely.
It's usually me that can't make it. I just want to put it out there now.
You're the one who's driving the value up.
Right. Somebody has to.
But yeah, man, no, I agree with that. What about you, Dari? Are you practicing at home?
Absolutely. There's not a day that passes by that I don't pick up the guitar and practice the songs, whether it's an original cover and then sing along to it. It's something that I do daily, and it's not a chore. I just enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely love it. Annabelle, you practicing?
I do practice. I don't like to call it practice because to me practice just has like this negative connotation, like you're not good enough. I want to call it more like leveling up my sound, like taking it to the next level, going to the next step.
Right,
I try to look at it like that. But yes, you have to sit, and just for the love of your instrument too. Like if you love what you do, why not sit?
Yeah.
And humans never stop learning. That's one thing that I know for a fact because I work with humans. So we never stop learning. We can always evolve. We can always learn something. So there is a lot to do in front of your instrument. There is a lot to be learned. There is a lot that you can work on. Even just speed exercises, anything. You can just continue to.
If it makes you feel any better about the word practice, though, I mean, doctors are always practicing medicine. So I'm just saying.
You just made it a lot better.
That's great. So when it comes to your releases, you seem to be like a lot of people have listened to your tunes on Spotify now. I do want to say, as a caveat to this statement, that how many people listen to your songs on Spotify does not matter in general, because Spotify is this evil company that are destroying music. But
it does not define you as a band, basically.
I'd say, but it is still
impressive.
Despite that, it is still super impressive. I was wondering how you who's listening to these songs? Did you get yourselves on some playlists and stuff like that? Like, it seems like you've got a ton of people listening to it. So I was just curious about like your marketing techniques and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Very good. You
I think it's fluctuated a lot. There are times in which whenever we release a song, I am constantly online. I am constantly promoting the music. I am constantly, hey, we have a new release. I'm always marketing and networking. So I've been able to get us on a few playlists at the beginning. And that helps a lot.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the way. I am just constantly sending the songs everywhere. I submit it to different places, different...
You go on all those websites and stuff. And
we just try to put the music out there.
Yeah.
Are you finding that once you got onto a playlist with a song that it's a little easier, or that at least the door is kind of half open for you to submit another song?
You could say it was an experiment. Let's see, is the music gonna be listened to? It's gonna reach people. Is it gonna work? It's not gonna work. You just gotta try it out and see how it works. See if it helps.
No, totally. With the last album, I submitted it to a Brazilian playlist, and we got on a couple. But I think that I don't know if I'm targeting it right. It's difficult to know how to target our music on Spotify, because I struggle to find any other music that's really like it.
It's hard.
That's
It's hard.
It's
It's hard to.
There were multiple curators that when they heard it, they were like, I can't use your song.
Right.
Sorry, this is not markable.
Yeah.
This is not gonna work, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
Plus, we have a 7-minute song somewhere in there too, and that's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
But
that one.
we don't do it for that. We do it for.
There's something about your music though that's very like soundtrack-like. It's there's something kind of ambient about it. Like it could, I could see it like in a movie or something like that. It has it's such like mood creation music,
Nice.
So and it's, say, for example, there was some I don't know, like a coffee house or something. It would be very nice music to just kind of create an ambiance. And so it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that there's a lot of listens, because it's just nice music to have on. That's it. I think there's certain stuff that you have to be like really into the band to want it to be on in the background, like super heavy punk rock or something like that. But then there's music that it just makes sort of existing in a space feel better, and I feel like that's kind of what your music's like. So yeah, when I saw it had a lot of listens after I listened to it, I was like, yeah, well, of course it does. It's nice. It's all good, man. So I think I couldn't really have set up listening to your music any better than I have done. So we'll listen to it now, and then we'll talk about it some more afterwards.
All right.
Great.
Remember the days when the world was your very own playground. The old swing was a spaceship, and it went round and round. You sat on the floor with a porch light on, playing with your friends, singing along to the same old songs. Story never ends. Ooh, won't you remember? Let me take you there, dancing through September. The radio on playing our favorite song. I won't let you forget. Racing your friend, the feel of the ball old friend of mine. It's been a while since we walked down through the streets and tell each other what's going on. Where have you been? What have you done? Have you found something to love? Something to keep you safe and sound? We get one life to live, let's live it right. Let's push forward through the days and through the nights. If you find something to love, hold on tight. Don't ever let this life just pass you by. Old friend of mine, I'm so glad to meet you. Tell me more about your life. Have you conquered all your fears? What have you seen? What have you done? Was the world what you expected when you left this part of town? We get one life to live, let's live it right. Let's push forward through the days and through the nights. If you find something to love, hold on tight. Don't ever let this life just pass you by. Sometimes it's time to go. When you have the love, leave this place behind. Trash what is there. We get one life to live, let's live it right. Let's push forward through the days and through the nights. Find something to love, hold on tight. Don't ever let this life just pass you. Don't ever let this life just pass you. Don't ever let this life just pass you by.
Hey everyone, Justin here, co-producer of 561 Music and owner of Live Music Community. Last year, I went on the road with The Shake to film a DIY tour. I decided to promote it by showing you the entire thing in this 30-second clip. Well, now that it's almost over, I hope you'll watch the trailer, out now on LMC's YouTube channel. Our handle is at LMC Florida. Episode 1 drops Monday, July 31st at noon, and we'll drop new episodes every following Monday. Once again, that's youtube.com/@LMC Florida.
We are also sponsored by Oasis Root. Now, Oasis Root Kava Bar is in Seagrape Square on Indiantown Rd. And it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water. And it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It's has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. And yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very, very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root Kava Bar. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band, Unemployed Youth, accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue, and we can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in, and it was a real success. But outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. It's north of the gas station, right before you get to North Lake on Military Trail. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. Thanks. All right, so we've just been listening to an ad for LMC, and it's where we are right now, sitting in the live room of LMC, where we do all our rehearsals. So it's only right that we ask, do you have any advice for upcoming musicians? And why don't I start with Annabelle?
Okay. Well, first of all, this place is really cool. If you haven't seen it, come check it out. And yeah, I would say do what you love. If you love music, do it. I think we go through life doing a lot of things just because we have to. We have to do some things we like more than others, but we have to do homework, we have to do dishes, we have to work, we have to do so many things.
We have to do a podcast sometimes.
We have to do a podcast. Right. So if you find something that you love, and if that is music, then I encourage you to do it, to just keep pursuing it, because it's going to make your life a lot happier.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what I'd do without music. I mean, it's a little bit of a silly thing to say because, I'm sure everyone feels like that, but there's no aspect of my life that isn't touched by it. I spend all day from when I wake up to when I go to bed doing something related to music, Well, if I wasn't allowed to do that, I don't know.
But if you didn't have music, you'd have a lot more time on your hands. So.
Well, that's true. I could go on vacation. Yeah. I wouldn't have a job, though.
That's right.
Well, you Dari?
I would say don't let anyone discourage you from doing what you love.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people that will like what you do. Some people will hate it, and that is okay. Eventually, you will find your crowd and your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's true. You work hard, something's going to come of it, no matter. It might be huge, crazy things. Might not be so huge and crazy, but something's going to come of it if you work hard at it. That's for sure.
If you're happy, that is success.
Well, I was just going to say. I was just going to say that, like. You're saying if something huge comes of it, great, and if something, not huge, something always comes of it. Even if it's just you being happy doing it, that's something great that came out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
No, totally. I cling on to that.
I know we're not going to get famous. So.
What about you, Jeremy?
I feel like y'all gave great life advice. That was more than just like young musician advice. I'm going to be a little bit more specific, and I'm going to say when you're playing with other people, listen to what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's going to make other people want to play with you more, and that's going to open up opportunities for you. But it's also going to make whatever you're working on better. It's really hard to do when you're starting out because it's easy to get focused on what you're doing and making sure that you're playing the right part and all that. But the more you can get comfortable in your own skin playing and start focusing on what's going on around you when you're playing, the better off you're going to be.
I think actually Hector is a very good listener. I feel like the way you play is predominantly listening. Like, you know, you're good at harmonies, you play the bass, but you're always fitting in with everyone else. You're not kind of playing over people, you know.
No,
I always feel your style is very much, you are someone who listens and as a result are a delight to play with.
Just kind of plugging in there and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, to that point, you know, and we've said this on the podcast before, you know, as far as like listening to people and stuff like that, I've always said that, you know, to be in a successful band, and again, success is measured from just being happy to, you know, 15 platinum albums, you know. So to be in a successful band, you have to have a good mix of good musicians, but equally as important, good people and people that you mesh well, and that you know, you're not just bandmates, but you're friends. And you know, and I can see that with you guys. You know, you guys are that, you know, I can definitely see that connection with you guys, and that's almost as important. I'd much rather be in a band with, you know, on a scale from 1 to 10, with a level 5 musician that I'm really great friends with, than a level 10 musician that's just a dick and I don't want to be around. You know, absolutely. That's just, you know.
I don't want it.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
it's super important. That chemistry is important.
Yeah,
Totally. And there's loads of examples of bands that hate each other and did really well, but I wouldn't want to have to. I wouldn't have to be involved in that, you know. That sounds horrific.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a good time at all. So could you tell us a little bit about the songs that we just heard?
Sure. So one of the songs we heard was Dancing Through September.
Yeah.
And that's already out on Spotify. So if you want to take a listen, you can always go and check it out in any major platform. And that song is about childhood. Have you guys had a childhood? Oh, okay. So if you had a childhood, then you can relate to this song, because what we were trying to do when we wrote it was make it relatable. Think about all those things that we did as kids that we enjoyed, and and some things that we didn't do, but we know that maybe kids in the United States do, because
we wanted to make sure that everyone could relate at least to one statement in that song, at least one, and that.
Oh, that's a nice way to write a song. I love that. Yeah. But making sure your music is relatable. That's it's not an alien concept to me, but it's not something that I think of while I'm writing this song.
Right.
And maybe it should be.
Well, I think we all draw. A lot of times we draw from our own experiences, and everybody, again, has had a childhood, so it was really easy. I think it was one of the easier.
I think it kind of wrote itself.
Yeah, it kind of wrote itself. It was
nice.
when we developed the theme and we kind of like were set on it. It was very easy to come up with the lyrics, because it was easy to relate to a song that is about what you've done in the past, or what you've heard other people do in the past, how they have fun. Like, for example, I never had a treehouse, but there is a treehouse in the song, because I've seen a lot of movies where kids are up on the treehouse having fun. So we added that one there, right?
Right.
Yeah, I always wish I had a treehouse. And even if you can't relate to it, you can relate to the fantasy of wanting to be able to relate to
Correct.
it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone wanted a treehouse when they were a kid, that's for sure.
And there are always Easter eggs in our songs, or a lot of songs have Easter eggs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
cool.
so there is an Easter egg on that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
And do you want to talk about the other song?
Yeah, the other song that we heard is actually an upcoming single, upcoming release called Old Friend.
Right.
And I think we all have that friend that even if we haven't seen them in a long time, when we see them, we pick it up right there where we left, you know? That one person that's always there for you.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what this song is about. It's about that one friend.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think I like to think that the verses speak a little bit about, hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in a long time. Tell me what's going on. And then the other friend is kind of like responding, oh, well, I've done this, I've done that. But then when you get to the chorus a little bit, it's about that advice that you get from your friend. You know, you only get to live once, so. Do it right. Keep pushing forward. So I love that. It's one of those songs where we wrote it and it was easy to write because we all have friends, right? I hope.
Yeah.
And we all have good friends. And it's funny because when we do live performances, I will always ask at the beginning of the song, hey, anybody had a childhood? And everybody is like, yeah, you know, like, and then the next song I'll be like, anybody has a really good friend? And I always, so it's always like, yeah, you okay.
No, you might be onto something there. I'm going to start writing songs that people can relate to.
Well, we have songs that are very, like, we have our first single, Moonlight Sky. I don't know if anybody can even, it's a different kind of relating to it, because you can make it whatever you want, and that's another type of relating to a song. You make it your own. Old Friend and Dancing Through September are more, I guess, out there. Like the topic is out there, the theme is out there, whereas other songs you relate because you make them your own, and that's great too, I think.
Yeah. No, totally. So the next thing I wanted to ask you about was recording. How did you record all these songs? Is it like a home studio thing, or do you go and record it at a studio?
Yeah, it's home studio, and we actually kind of do it to some extent separately. Like we'll be in the room with each other and whatnot, but like this last one, I think the guitars and bass and vocals, those were done at Darian in Will's place. Drums were done separately at my place, and then we kind of put it all together. Gino, our bassist, did the mixing and mastering.
Okay.
So it's kind of home produced, but in separate parts before we bring it all together.
I have to say that bringing Gino into this project has been a blessing, because that man is a man of many talents.
Many talents.
Bassist, musician, producer,
filmographer, photography.
Yeah.
He does everything.
That's cool. That's awesome. So when you were recording it individually like that, was he there? Was he doing the recording in everyone else's houses?
He's often there.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have like a rule that Gino has to be there, or any particular person has to be there.
So you're all perfectly capable of doing it yourself?
We
Yes,
are, but
yes.
Right.
but we like the collaboration, and so even if there's not somebody present, like I think on that one I did the drums on my own without anybody there, but there was a lot of back and forth where I'd like record a sample and be like, hey, does this fit right? Any feedback? And there would be feedback, so we'd adjust and go back and forth. So it's still a very collaborative process, even when we're working individually.
There's also times that I record the guitars at home and I send it to Gino. He's like, you know what? Why don't you come over instead? Let's do it at my studio instead this time. And that's
Right,
fine.
yeah.
You're looking for a specific vibe.
Sure. What programs are you using for that? Is it using Logic or?
I don't know what Gino uses. Personally, I'm using Reaper right now just because I'm a
Reaper,
cheapskate,
gotcha.
but it works well for me.
Yeah.
I'm even cheaper. I use Mixcraft Pro. It doesn't get
there
any
you
more
go.
obscure than that.
I have heard of it, but I've never used it. That's awesome. I've messed around a little bit in Reaper. Yeah, it's for what it is. It works great.
Yeah,
It does
I
the
mean,
trick.
I have a lot to learn. So I would say, like, for all the use cases that I'm comfortable with, it does great. I'm sure at some point, hopefully my skills will get to the point where I feel like, okay, I'm ready for something else. But
Yeah, I gotcha.
So when you're recording the drums at home like that, I mean, you're micing everything up, you're doing all that stuff and everything.
I use 4 mics. I do 2 overheads and then snare and kick.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be amazed what 4 mics is really, unless you're going crazy.
Right,
and
unless
have
you're
one on each
tweaking
tom
every
and-
individual tone and all that stuff. Yeah, no, I get that.
I mean,
get that.
I've played with close mics on the toms and all that,
Yeah.
and like certainly it gives you a little bit finer degree of control. But I guess personally, my approach is always that like I would like for the recording to come out well if we were to stick like a single overhead over my kit. I know that like realistically, you're not going to get 100% the best result doing that, but like I really aim to have a sound where you could just capture something in the room and you'd be good to go.
Totally. Remember we were talking to Jay Wolf, and a lot of those recordings he was on in the 60s was just one mic for the drums.
One mic for the drums, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we this time last year, actually, it just came up in my time hop on Facebook and stuff. This time last year when we were recording at Sun Studios up in Memphis, that big giant ribbon mic that they used on the big boom that they used for my bass, that's what they used to use for the drum sets, for the drum kits back when like Elvis and Carl Perkins and those guys were recording. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They just stuck a big ribbon mic in
They
front
just
of
put
it,
a
and
big
that was it.
ribbon mic right in front, and it was big. I mean, it was probably 12 by 12 or something. It was crazy big.
That was a lot of fun. We recorded our most recent album. We made like a trip out of it,
Yeah.
We went to Sun Studios in Memphis and,
cool.
and we gigged on the way there and then recorded and then gigged on the way back. It was a good time.
Stopped at Graceland, graffitied, Killbillies were here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was good. So when it comes to playing gigs, how far afield do you guys get and how often do you play?
So we have been playing. How often, Jeremy?
I'd say like once or twice a month
Once
we're
or
playing
twice a
out.
month. That's what I would say too. Once or twice a
I
month.
would say that the first year that we were together, we were not gigging that much.
No.
We were mostly recording.
Yeah.
We really focus on writing, recording, putting music out there, and then hit us. I think we're ready. Let's do this. Let's
Yeah,
really do
cool.
this. This is the part that now we're missing. Let's get out there.
Yeah.
So I think that from now on, it's going to be way more often.
What kind of gigs are you guys doing? Are you playing like a multi-band night where you're just doing like your original set and stuff, or are you guys doing,
being
like
the band for
like
the night
Killbillies?
kind of
You're hired for the night, and yeah, we play a bunch of originals, but we have to fill 4 hours, so of course we're playing a bunch of covers too.
Mm-hmm. You could say that we're starting from scratch.
Okay.
We're starting from scratch to the point that we have to get to know the scene. We have to know how to get ourselves into those kind of gigs. We're doing open mics. We're doing little things. We've gotten a few gigs here and there, but it's been difficult.
Cool.
Yeah.
When you don't know the scene, it's been difficult.
Yeah, I understand that, and I know that up this way, for the kind of music we play, it's easier for us to get booked than it is closer to Miami. We found that there's not as much going on for us. I don't know if it necessarily applies to you guys, but for us, it's harder.
I would say south of Delray Beach, it's been hard for Killbillies to get booked. But I mean, realistically, even just south of West Palm Beach, it seems.
Notice that they're looking for a lot of cover bands.
Right.
Cover bands.
That's
Cover
what
bands,
we
cover
discovered.
bands.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
But it's been challenging.
Well, and that's the whole mission, or the whole point of this podcast is we're trying to get we've been doing this for 2 years solid now. We're trying to get original
we really
bands.
have, haven't we? Yeah.
We've been doing it for 2 years, so I'm done. We're trying to get that attention on local original music. I mean, there is so much original music that is good in South Florida, that it's a shame that every time you walk into a bar or a venue or a restaurant or whatever, and there's a band playing, they're playing the same Three Doors Down song, or they're playing, they're playing the same, Brown Eyed Girl or something. It's like, it's just insane to me. And it's not to say that there's not a place for that. We don't play those songs, but we do play cover gigs. And so we go out and we play 3 hours or 4 hour gigs, typically 3 hour gigs.
Yeah.
We'll fill the time up with a lot of covers, but we try to put in as many originals as possible. At least a third of the gig is originals. It's just a shame that there's not an outlet for these original bands,
And even when there is, it's difficult to get people to come out to those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just building the scene isn't just the venue and the bands. It's getting people in the venues.
Yeah, it's educating the public that there's good music that you haven't heard. Just because it hasn't been on the radio doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah, exactly. And persuading people that something that they would like to do of an evening is go and discover new music.
Yeah. And here's what's crazy to me, and this is a perfect example. We just went to go see Fall Out Boy on Monday over here at the amphitheater.
Yeah.
So, something happened to us that night that happens to us a lot, and I have to imagine it happens to a lot of people a lot of times. We went to go see Fall Out Boy. There was a few openers. I didn't know who they were. But we went when the doors opened, and we sat down and we listened. And one was Bring Me the Horizon. I had never heard of them.
Yeah,
and one was Royal and the Serpent. Never heard of them either. Loved both bands.
Bring Me the Horizon. I've been around since Killbillies. Yeah. I mean, sorry, since Sonic Boom 6, 2001.
But for me, I had never heard of either one of those bands. Right. So I walked away from the Fall Out Boy concert enjoying Fall Out Boy, but discovering two new bands, right?
Yeah.
And I know that people do that all the time. They go see a specific band they want to see, but they go early so they can check out the opener, and then they fall in love with the opener, and they've discovered a new band. I don't understand why they can't use that same mentality in a local bar where you're not paying $100 for a ticket. You're paying $5 to get in or $10 to get in, and sometimes it's free.
Yeah.
Go out. Enjoy, the local scene. Enjoy original music. You'll be surprised and shocked what you're going to find.
No, absolutely. You're not wrong at all. I think it's like anything. It's discovering new things is exciting, exhilarating. And listening to the same old thing a million times over is
boggles my mind. It boggles my mind, and it happens to us all the time too. We're playing, we're playing stuff, and not that people don't enjoy the original stuff. They absolutely like it. They love it. They ask us to play more of it, etc. But there's always that guy that comes up to us. Can you play Brown Eyed Girl? Can you play whatever? What's
I think
Sweet Home Alabama?
I think it's partly because they know the name of the song.
Yeah.
And they can walk up to the band and say something. That's about as much as it is.
Yeah.
You know.
What somebody asked us the other day.
And they like telling other people. A lot of people like telling other people what to do.
Yeah.
So if it was their choice, then it.
Guy asked us if we could play.
You know what I mean?
Devil Went Down to Georgia. I'm like, we don't have a violin.
So what have you guys got coming up in the pipeline then?
You have a whole list.
I have a
Let's hear it.
Let's see the
hear the
list.
list.
Come on.
You know what?
There's
Put it all out there.
All right. So the first thing coming up is actually a kind of like a mini collaboration, not necessarily, but mini collaboration with a band from the UK. This guy is named Popclaw.
Okay.
They reach out to me.
My people.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, they're a really good rock band from the UK. They reached out to me because they wanted some female harmonies in their song.
Cool.
And I love harmonies. Oh, you tell me and I'm there. So I helped them out with some harmonies. So their song is coming up now on August 4th.
Cool.
And
Popclaw.
again, their name is
Interesting
Popclaw, and the song is called Adrift, coming out on August 4th. That's going to be
Cool.
really fun.
Awesome.
Anybody else want to take the next one?
We have our own song coming out 8/11, August 11th, called Leave It All. It's going to be on all major platforms. Jeremy's
Leave
turn.
it all. Right.
What do we got next? I need to look at the list too.
So we're also working on another original that should be coming out after that one, probably around September. But we're working on a video with a videographer at
And
the
you
moment.
heard that song here.
Yeah,
it's
that's
called
right.
Old
Awesome.
Friend.
Yeah.
So that one we need to wait for the video to be ready. So we're really looking forward to this one. Also, we have another collaboration with a very talented singer-songwriter from Miami. Her name is Luz.
Nice.
It's going to be a Spanish song,
Cool.
but it's going to be almost like medicine music. Very
Imagine
soft.
Jeremy singing in Spanish. I mean,
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah, and then we've got some live shows coming up as well. September 9th at the Twisted Roots Kava Bar.
Nice.
That's going to be, you were asking earlier, like what kind of gigs you play. Is it usually just like you for the night, or is it you and a few other groups kind of collaborating? So we're one of each of those. September 9th, that's us for the night.
Where is that?
Hollywood.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hollywood. Right. I'm a
Avid
avid consumer of Kava
Kava
drinker.
drinker.
Oh, okay. I'll have to come down and try it out.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely,
really
yeah.
cool place, by the way. We went to check it out, and it's really nice. So we're looking forward to playing there and getting free kava all
Absolutely.
night.
Yeah.
We also have on 8/27th, we're going to be at Doyo LRN with Michael Scott.
Michael Stock.
Stock. I'm Scott.
It's like the opposite. Yeah. Stock. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
English.
Michael's going to have us on his show on August 27th. So we're really looking forward to that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sunday.
Yeah,
We're
cool.
gonna be there live, so
Good
see how it
stuff.
goes.
And the most exciting of them all that we just got the news today, I'll leave you to that one.
Yes, go Jeremy.
Okay. Yeah, I need the date.
29.
The 29th.
That's right.
August 29th.
29th.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll be playing in like the Wynwood neighborhood of Miami. We don't actually have like the address for the venue yet, but we'll be playing with a couple
It's
other groups.
going to be part of the So Far movement.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
we're really
So
excited
far
for that one.
sounds, yeah. So we can't tell you
Sick.
where we're going to be, but we're going to be in Wynwood.
That's awesome.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
8 p.m. And it's going to be our first So Far music event, so we're looking forward to it, and hopefully many
That's
more.
exciting.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. It's cool down there too. I wish we played in Miami more often. We should try and get a gig down there.
There's good venues down there. Just
I've played
at
Jubilee's down there
They
in the
just
past.
won't give us the time of day for some reason.
Because Miami people want to party. They want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, there's venues down there that would book us.
We got to give it another whirl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's all it is, But it's a war of attrition with these
Yeah,
things.
but I've been busy booking us in like Atlanta, Marietta, Birmingham.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've been going the other direction.
We're going away on tour in October, doing like a southeast coast tour.
We got a
Nice.
lot of tours coming up. We got a tour in October, and then June of next year we're doing a Midwest tour. So we're going to be going all the way through from here to like around Minnesota or so and back.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's a long trip.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
trying to get out there.
We'll be gone
Yeah.
for like 8 months. No, I just said that because I know Justin's freaking out right now.
Yeah,
since
Justin's
Justin's having a small heart attack right now. I go, what? Ben's going to be gone how long?
It's all right. I have a clone that I've been growing in my
Growing.
basement.
Does he have the cool tattoos like you do?
Yeah, it was really expensive to get the tattoo mod for the clone, but I did it anyway. Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it.
By the way, I don't want the podcast to end without mentioning our other member, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he is and Gino, because they're both an important part of this band. Gino couldn't make it with the space here. And Ryan is in a little bit of hiatus right now because he recently became a father. Hi to you and your family.
Congratulations.
And we look forward to having you back at some point.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
No, it is important. I know I'd be bummed out if I didn't get mentioned and I couldn't make it for my band, so I appreciate that. Big up, Ryan.
What do we have going on this weekend? Do we have gigs?
Yeah, we do. Let's have a look here.
I mean, I know it's a dumb question. Do we have gigs?
Do we have gigs?
When do we
It's
not?
only one gig. We're playing at O'Shea's on Saturday.
That's right.
That's right.
Because I'm going to Dave Matthews on Friday.
Ooh,
Yeah, there you go.
Not
that's
by choice.
exciting.
Okay, so I have the amphitheater here has this thing called the lawn pass, and it's like $200, and it's a season pass. So you get to go to the lawn seats for every show for like the whole season,
Cool.
right? So I mean, so if you work it out, it's like $6 a show or something stupid like that.
I didn't even know.
But
it was
what
that.
happens is, like, I start getting really stupid about it. I'm like, well, I have to go to every show. I have to, because if I only go to like 3 shows, then it's like, $80 a show. So I have to go to like every show. And so like there's bands that I don't even like that I've been like, yeah, I'm going to go to this show. Like, Dave Matthews, it's all right. I don't not like Dave Matthews, but I mean, I don't
There's
love,
a lot of
I don't
very
love
good
Dave Matthews.
musicians in the band.
There are.
So you can enjoy that.
It'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to watch. Like Kelly, my wife Kelly went to. We were playing the other night, and she went to ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner. Totally not her thing. But I was surprised she went, and then she came back and said the same thing. She came back and she's like, I hate ZZ Top, like musically, like she's like, I don't enjoy the music. She's like, but oh my God, what incredible musicians these guys were, and like the one original member that's still there, he's like 72 or something, and he's running all over the stage like he was 20. It's crazy.
Just so you know, they won't let you into a Dave Matthews concert if you're not wearing cargo shorts and sandals. Just make sure you're doing that.
I don't even think I own cargo shorts and sandals.
Jeremy will fit right in.
Drinking coffee. Jeremy's like, I like Dave Matthews.
You know what? Actually, their drummer is one of my favorites. So.
He is a solid drummer. He
Carter
is a
Bumper
solid
is
drummer. And like Ben
tremendous.
said, they're all solid musicians.
Yeah.
Just not a
It's
big
not
fan
everybody's
of
cup
music.
of tea.
Just
Yeah,
not a big fan
nothing
of
wrong
music.
with that.
No, exactly.
I mean, in all fairness, I'm not a big fan of Hillbilly music either. So
He's been saying this like every week. I think he's trying to tell me something. I don't know what's going on. But listen, anyway, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And you've been an absolute pleasure. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to come and see you guys play live. I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to make it happen. And so if you've been made it all the way through to this point in the podcast, it means that you probably like what we're doing here. And so if you have any money that you're not using, we could really use it, and you can donate on our podcast. I mean, on our website, which is 561music.com.
Yep.
So yeah,
Or you
basically
just
it costs
sign up
money
to
to
be
make this. So if anyone has feels like donating, we'd really appreciate it.
or sign up to be a sponsor. We can
Yeah.
always use another sponsor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks a lot for coming, guys.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
See you
Peace
later.
out.
Hi, this is Ben from 561 Music. We are a local music podcast that is completely designed to promote and shed light on local music. And if you would like to be a part of that, we're looking for sponsors. So you could have your ads in the episode and in all the show notes, and we will read you bespoke ads, or you can write your own ads yourselves. If you want to find us, you can find us at 561 Music Podcast on the socials, or www.561music.com. We'd love it if you got in touch. Thanks a lot.
It's what we're doing. Come and check it out. It's what we're all about. 561 Music.